What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on WB and do they actually care about the DCEU? If you're finding me for the first time, I mainly do DC videos, but I do a lot of Marvel videos as well, as I do love them. The reason I'm making this video is because if you've seen Justice League multiple times, the more times you watch it, the less you actually think that WB Warner Brothers cares for the DC extended universe. Before Justice League came out, everyone was so hyped for it. I've watched the movie at least 3 times if I remember correctly. The first time I watched it in Leicester Square with a lot of DC fanboys and media people, absolutely loved it. The second time I started noticing small little things. Batman saying Alfred's name in front of the robber, the kind of I'm itchy, you smell good. I don't want to do Warner Brothers actually care about producing good movies? I just don't understand. So let's break this down. So we get Wonder Woman movie, which is critically acclaimed by everyone. The fans love it, the media loved it. Then not less than 6 months later, Justice League comes out and the critics hate it and most of the fans hate it. The only people that really like the Justice League movie are fans. Although fans think it's not what we should have got, does Warner Bros. Actually care? There's multiple rumours and reports coming out that the reason it was rushed was so the CEO Kevin, etc. could receive their bonuses. And the whole Henry's kind of digitally removed moustache absolutely makes no sense. Because if you go back to Man of Steel, he had a massive beard, and if Superman was dead, he should have come back with long hair. And facial hair is when you die, your hair won't stop growing. So I honestly don't think that WWE cares for the DC Extended Universe. I think they're trying to, this hurts me to say this, I honestly think they're trying to copy what Marvel are doing, and I think it hurt the movie massively by not having Darkseid in the movie. Every version of this movie, different scripts before Zack Snyder had his cut, everyone had Darkseid in it, but obviously because Thanos is going to be coming in Infinity War next year, which, don't get me wrong, looks absolutely amazing and I can't wait to go watch that movie, but I just think it hurt the movie massively. We seen on Kevin Smith's podcast last week that Darkseid was supposed to be in it. We were supposed to see Apocalypse. It just seems to me that WB seems to care more about making money than they do about producing a good movie. If they produce a good movie, then the money will come. I can't see how the formula was so much different for Wonder Woman than it was for the Justice League. Seeing as Zack Snyder worked on the screenplay for Wonder Woman and Deborah Snyder also worked in it, and obviously we know that the Justice League movie was originally directed and filmed by Zack Snyder being the main director, and obviously he had to go away because of a family tragedy. And then we get rumours saying that they wanted him out after Batman vs Superman, but they were too heavily in development for the Justice League movie, so they couldn't pull it. So they used this family tragedy as a scapegoat to pull him out and get Joss Whedon completely change everything. But if you actually know what you're on about, Joss Whedon was actually working on his little screenplay for the movie before Zack Snyder left and before the movie was actually finished being made. So it makes no sense why they decided months before the movie came out, 3 months before the movie came out, to digitally remove a lot of scenes and cut it to 2 hours, because the Warner Brothers CEO said the movie had to be 2 hours long because a shorter movie makes more money, but a shorter movie does not make a better movie. We already know from Batman vs Superman, when they released the Blu-ray version with the extended 3-hour cut of Batman vs Superman, it made a lot more sense and received a lot more praise. Although we're always going to have the Marvel fanboys who can't like DC and Marvel, which makes no sense to me. So does Warner Brothers actually care about the extended universe they are trying to build? It's clear that they brought Joss Whedon in. I don't believe that Zack Snyder brought him in now. I just think they were trying to build the MCU, and now it looks like they're backtracking that. We've got the whole DC shake-up with John Berg and Jeff Johns kind of stepping back, which kind of makes no sense, but it's a popular thing in Hollywood. If something fails, even though it's going to break even, it didn't have to make billions of dollars, because let's be honest, this is the 5th movie in the DCEU. It just has to make money. It doesn't have to make massive amounts, but I can understand how Wonder Woman is going to break $1 billion or is close to breaking $1 billion. It's already broke 700 million, and that's just one person having 5 people in. How can a movie with Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman not make billions? I just think they made a massive cock up with the marketing. You can make a good movie, but if it's not marketed well, then it won't do well. I don't understand why they wouldn't advertise Superman being in it. A lot of people were confused. I received multiple messages. Is Superman going to be in this movie? Why wouldn't he be? Because unless you're a comic book fan, you wouldn't know that it was actually going to be in it. So I can see why they wanted to keep with the kind of continuity and pretend that he's dead and he's not going to be in it. But it just seems like this movie, even though I still love it and would still recommend, and I'm gonna buy the Blu-ray, regardless if it's this Joss Whedon cut that we're supposedly getting, it just does not make any sense. I've been speaking to a lot of people in the kind of Justice League community about this movie, and it just did not make sense why they just wouldn't push the release date back and wait till Zack Snyder was ready to kind of come back and finish his cut, because it just... And there's also reports of Joss Whedon wants to add all this comedy value. It just seems like they didn't care. They just wanted to release the movie to make a bunch of money. They failed, and they are putting the blame on Zack Snyder for the failure of DCEU. But if you watch Man of Steel, watch Man of Steel and watch Justice League, and it's clear to me and a lot of other people that these two movies were not made by the same person. Yes, Justice League was made by him, but they cut 55 minutes to an hour off his movie, then re-edited scenes. I mean, you can tell the Kent Farm scene, you can tell his hair and his face. It was green screen. They changed so much this movie to the point where we don't even know what was the actual Justice League movie. And Justice League was pinnacle to building the DCEU, and now it's kind of up in air. Are they going to make Justice League 2? We got J.K. Simmons, who plays Commissioner Gordon, saying that they're working on the script for Justice League 2. But do you really think Warner Bros. Are going to chuck a lot of money at another Justice League movie if this current one doesn't make money? I think the route they should do is take 5 years out and build up the kind of the solo movies, get the Flash movie out of the way, get a solo Aquaman movie out of the way, and get another Batman movie out of the way. And they're going to have to just build it up slowly and not try to copy what Marvel did. It's a shame that essentially the CEO of Warner Brothers has actually screwed his own kind of production art by giving it a 2-hour centerpiece mark. I mean, if we have an evil Superman that meets Darkseid in the movie and you cut out the kind of The Ring scene, I can understand now why all the critics say you think you've seen stuff from the trailers, you've seen nothing, because most of the material in the trailers never even made it to the final cut of the movie, which made no sense. Fabian Weinger, I think that's his name, the cinematographer guy, said that his favourite scene was the Alfred scene. He said you'd come. We're never probably going to know who he was talking to, although it's heavily hinted at. It's Superman. As much as I love Warner Bros. Company for all the great things they've done for DC, and they essentially produce all the DC movies, it seems to me that they don't care. Why would they let Superman returned with a CGI removed moustache that's also making the actor look very bad? Luckily, Henry's such a good actor that he still pulled it off. But now he's being criticised everywhere for the way his face looks when it's not even his fault. It seems to me like Warner Brothers doesn't care about something they've spent so long trying to build from the very first Man of Steel movie, when technically the DCEU movie started. I know I had some comments saying DC's 30 movies in, but no, you don't count the Nolan Brothers Dark Knight movie. You don't count that stuff. The DCEU started with Man of Steel. I know they're trying to play catch up, but I really hope that Aquaman movie coming out next year, that they learn from their mistakes and they don't try to copy the Marvel platform, the Marvel generic stuff, because DC and Marvel, yes, they're comic book companies essentially, but they are very, very different. And it just seems like Warner Bros. Just care about making money. They've screwed the DCEU over, they've screwed the fans over. and they're just seeming to be blaming Zack Snyder for everything. It's the same with Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad should not have failed, but it did because it was rushed. I can't understand how this movie was rushed. Had we got a Zack Snyder cut with every scene in it, Iris, I mean, we're getting a Flashpoint movie, yet how are we going to get a Flashpoint movie when Barry and Iris haven't even met? No one knows how Henry Allen ended up in jail, because literally we got a 1 minute scene with him saying you didn't do it. It's just a real shame how someone like Marvel has Kevin Feige there, who seems to be doing an awesome job. DC needs their own version of Kevin Feige to come in, and someone who's actually written comic books and stuff, who knows what they're on about. Zack Snyder is the perfect candidate, but for some reason, just like Ben Affleck is an awesome Batman, they get bashed on the media. They need someone to come in who can take control of the DCEU without getting people saying, no, the movie's got to be 2 hours long. The movie should not be defined by how long it is. Zack Snyder is known for telling a story. A lot of people who I spoke to didn't understand why Aquaman was there, what Mera was doing, how Mera seemed to be the Queen of Atlantis, even though she spoke about the Queen of Atlantis being dead. There was just so many bits that didn't make sense to the movie, to the general public, because these movies are generally made for the general public. Why does the general public love Marvel movies, even if they don't know comic book stuff? They love Marvel movies, yet DC doesn't seem to be received, yet Wonder Woman was received, yet they're made by the same company. It makes no sense to anyone. I don't know, guys, this is kind of a rant video, but not really a rant video. It just makes no sense to me how Wonder Woman can be so critically acclaimed and get really good reports from everyone, yet Justice League gets absolutely slammed for not for no reason, because they changed the ending, they cut and pasted, they changed so much. I really hope that Shazam next year and all the other movies in their firing line are not creatively done in the same manner as the Justice League movie. Although if we got Zack Snyder's version, then we can actually say whether the Justice League movie was good or not. As much as a big DC fan I am, I'm not happy with the movie we got. Like, there was so much hype around it, and then it came out, and then the hype was gone like within a day because it didn't make $500 million the opening weekend. It just makes no sense how Wonder Woman slams it, does amazing, Justice League comes out and it did okay at best, and got like, I don't know, what was it, 30% of Rotten Tomato, which clearly makes no sense, because even with the Joss Whedon corny lines, I'm itchy, you smell good, I'm a fan of justice, yes, we all know Superman's about justice, but did he actually have to come with that corny line? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Does WB care about DCEU anymore, or are they just out to make money? I think if DCEU or DC Films is to have a long career, they're really going to have to bring someone in to take the realms and not have the CEO undermine him saying, yes, this movie is going to have to be 2 hours long. You cannot make a movie with 5 main stars, essentially, in 2 hours. They rushed so much to the point where I do agree with some comments that are negative, where saying it jumped from one bit to next bit to next bit. Yet Wonder Woman, I think, was overly long. Wonder Woman told so much a story that you could have walked out knowing exactly everything about her, how she was sculpted into the goddess that, well, the demigod that she is. And it's like the black Superman suit. I mean, that would have made much more sense. All these rumours, I'm getting sick and tired of making videos about this kind of stuff, but it's just weird how all these stories are coming out, and it's like the original kind of storyline for Justice League. I honestly don't understand how this movie did not make billions, because it literally had the framework to be such an amazing film, which I still think it was really good, but the more I watch it, the less I like it in ways, because you see little bits here and there of things that they just messed up. It seems to me like they didn't edit it properly. I mean, you even get Zeus and Ares in the credits. I mean, did they even check the credits that everyone in the credits made the final cut? I mean, the whole Deathstroke scene, that was supposed to be part of the movie. We were supposed to see Deathstroke breaking Lex Luthor out, although we didn't. We just got someone that appeared to look like him, and then it wasn't. The original post-credit scenes were nothing like what we were supposed to get, but obviously Zack Snyder filmed them, because you can tell, like, the more I watch it, the more you can tell Joss Whedon scenes to Zack Snyder scenes. But I don't know, guys, it's just a little bit of a random video how I don't think WB actually cares what anyone wants. They just want to make money, and it's just a bit strange because this had so much potential to kill it at the box office, but it didn't. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think down below. Sorry this video's a bit long. I just wanted to get my views out about what is going on with Warner Brothers. They just need to get their act together and not try to copy Marvel. Anyway, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that bell button down below, the red one, and I will catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch you later.